Et je suis avec
I'm here with Moshe Dabush, commander of the Border Guard Battalion in the Southern District of Jerusalem Envelope. He's going to explain the situation on the ground to us.
de l'enveloppe de...
As we know, since October 7, the area is volatile. We're still at war. In the north, although there is calm, there is still attempts to infiltrate. And in the south, we are of course still at war. Of course. In the envelope, we feel the pressure. There are problems. Many illegal immigrants want to enter Jerusalem or the state of Israel to bypass us. The envelope, which is the security belt for both the capital Jerusalem and Israel, there are those who simply want to walk, and there are those who simply want to carry out attacks in Israel territory. And because of that, we're here at the fence.
On aimerait comprendre parce que...
Unlike in the south and the north, here everything is intertwined, with Palestinian towns and villages just a few hundred meters from the Israeli towns and villages. That's the difficulty.
Les Israéliennes sont vraiment à quelques centaines de mètres. Elle est là la difficulté.
It's true the distances are short from the border. But the fact is, the envelope was built 20 years ago. There's a smart system of a wall with electronic fence. There are border police teams on the fence 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. Using cameras, observation posts, they prevent the entrance of anyone who should not be entering Israeli territory.
Ça veut dire...
But in practical terms, does this mean that the border guards are part of this anti-terrorist war?
First of all, the border police were an integral part of fighting in the south on October 7th. Fought battles in the south at certain places. I, myself, served in the south during that period, around Yad Mordechai Junction. And the border police were an integral part of fighting. The border police are a jacket of the state. It's the border police who stand at the crossing points, carry out offensive actions in both West Bank and inside Israel, carry out arrests and smart actions.
Ça veut dire...
Does it mean that those who live behind us and want to enter Jerusalem will have to meet you on the way?
Obligé de passer par vous, quoi qu'il arrive.
Every terrorist who wants to enter Jerusalem or the state of Israel and passes through the envelope will see the border police, either at the crossing point or on the fence, or patrolling. We're always there.
Quand vous voyez ce qui...
When you see what is happening in Jenin or Tulkarim, does it set off alarm bells in your area?
Les environs.
We're always at a high state of operational readiness, especially since October 7th. We have forces in the communities in the envelope. We have many forces on the border of the envelope. We're strong at the crossing points. I don't see anyone bypassing us because of the strong presence of the border police around Jerusalem.
I'm going to be hard on you, but we said the same thing about Gaza, and yet the terrorists got through.
Because of what happened in Gaza, I'm certain that here in the envelope we learn lessons. We conduct exercises, carry out smart actions, or actions I cannot disclose in the media. So what happened in Gaza would not happen in Jerusalem.
On parle de...
You are the commander of part of the Jerusalem envelope, which is a huge area.
Ça fait quand même énormément de secteurs à surveiller et vous y arrivez quand même.
True, it's a lot, but the border police in the envelope has 3 strong operation battalions working with the military police. There are civilian security guards who help out at the crossing. We and the IDF cooperate fully with the brigades in the West Bank and of course with the regular police inside Jerusalem. All this combined is a strong human element that helps us function as a strong independent force ready for any scenario.
Ce qui s'est passé en début...
What happened at the beginning of the week with an alert about an attack or potential infiltration of terrorists into Jerusalem, is that why people say that the lesson of the 7th of October have been learned?
Du 7 octobre?
After October 7th, we have no doubts. There are no gray areas. That means we get an identification, a warning. The border police and the envelope know how to deploy the critical points to foil the threat.
And how do you go about it in practical terms? Do you close off the city with a padlock?
We simply use the communications device we know to be on the fence, in the strength, the forces, and our bases, and we know how to do a good job around Jerusalem.
Et je suis avec
I'm here with the mayor of Ma'ale Adumim, Guy Ifra. Are you worried when you see that things are starting to heat up in the north of Samaria?
du nord de la Samarie, vous êtes inquiet.
Of course, we understand today that after the very important moves Israel made in the south and in the north, the West Bank is liable to the next arena, and I'm very happy that at Central Command and in the IDF and the government as a whole, they understand the need to safeguard the settlers in the West Bank, and I hope that we will get the required focus, because what happened in the northern West Bank can happen elsewhere in the West Bank, and we have to be ready. We as local council and the military.
Vous êtes maire aussi, et il y a une zone.
You are also the mayor of a town that is home to one of the biggest industrial zones, with thousands of Palestinian workers.
That's right. On a regular day, we let 6,000 Palestinians enter the industrial zone of Ma'ale Adumim. It's very, very significant. On the other hand, we respect the workers, bring them an organised place to check that only those who have permits have entered, and that they have no weapons. And I won't lie, Salim Fayyad, who tried then to organise a boycott on Israel through the workers, he told them, don't work for the Jews. It didn't work. In the end, they came because they wanted to earn a salary. I prefer to believe that the majority of people want to do things the way they should be done. But we need to be careful and pay attention. On the one hand, to allow them to work, and on the other hand, make sure none of them want to carry out an attack.
Are you constantly in contact with the Israeli security forces?
Since October the 7th, and of course since I took up my post, I'm in constant communication, daily, with the police that is responsible for the security in Ma'ale Adumim, which is different from the situation in the West Bank, where security responsibility rests with the IDF. In the case of Ma'ale Adumim and the other villages around Jerusalem, it's the police who are responsible for the security. So I'm in touch with the police station commander, the district police commander, and of course with the IDF and the municipality security branch to ensure Ma'ale Adumim remains protected. We take care to hold situational assessments to safeguard our residents.
Maire de Ma'ale Adumim et aussi
You're also a reservist commander of an infantry unit with over 200 days in reserve.
Right. Since October the 7th, I called up my battalion. I'm a battalion commander in the reserves, but since I took up my post, I couldn't continue commanding, since the battalion was called up for a long time and I'm needed here, so I had to leave the battalion. But with all due modesty, I think I understand a bit about the subject. So, I invest a lot in security, pressuring the government. Whatever we can invest with the forces of the municipality, we invest. So that on the one hand, there'll be regular life here, and on the other hand, there'll be security for the city and its residents.
Dernière question.
Last question. Ma'ale Adumim is surrounded by towns like Azaria, Abu Dis, Isawiya. If the ground were to explode all around, what would such a situation look like in Ma'ale Adumim?
Today, the most qualitative threat that we're talking about is a difficult one. It's a campaign of death, not a lone attacker. We are wary of it, and so we are ready for it. Both the security department and the border police forces, there is a new company, a reserve company of 100 fighters, whose weapons and equipment will be at home in case they have to rush into action. There are a lot of forces, both the police and the military, who will respond as needed. But I very much hope they won't need to, that things will calm down and will return to a level of calm and security as needed.
תודה רבה.